When blood mixes in the various strains, types, and race factors as a result of karmic selection, so the blood consciousness becomes diluted in its ancestral strength. It does not embrace future patterns, but largely in an orotronic half-light or incomplete geometry. However, when these same strains, types, and race consciousness mix according to true metatronic or full light entrainment, new and more finely resolved forms of the DNA geometry are created which maintain the ancestral memory and yet evolve it to a higher graduation upon the spiral of creation. How does one enter the ancestral flow of the Metatron rather than the Orotron? Through living sacred presence as a heart-centered reality. The basis of the Johannine consciousness, which is to know, comes from this cohesion of old form with new resolution. This presence constitutes the awakened ones. Further, one need not be reincarnated into the right mixture of genetic codes in order to emancipate the presence in the blood. All human beings contain a seed of this effulgent solvent in their life-giving blood. It can be quickened immaculately as an ovum in the womb to reconstitute into full-blown metatronic geometry. Those who are incarnated in a physical vessel which contains the complete codes relative to their planet's current evolution may activate the presence not only in their body and blood, but as pathing for the quickening in others. Yeshua, or Jesus, was the ultimate awakener in this sense. He said, "Do this in remembrance of me," the true meaning of which was to transfer his blood geometry into the fallen spectrum of humanity through the direct ritual of communion. This sacred act also perpetuated the sacred solvent through one's quickened blood vibration by expanding the immaculate light within that individual's blood into the auric fields of other individuals, allowing them the opportunity to embrace the holy within their blood and cells through this transfer. This message was given from Thoth to me around 1995. I would add what he has said many times before. It's not that everybody should go take communion in a church. He is speaking about the act, the actual quantum act that Yeshua performed, with his apostles, and that he intended for others to perform so that it was released into the whole of the planet. Unfortunately, the communion now given in the Catholic Church and whatever, sometimes it does that for people if they're in the right place for it, and many times it does not, because you have to be in that heart-centered consciousness in order to embrace it in that way. And certainly there are many other ways that you can receive this path, but this is the way Yeshua performed it originally, and that's what the communion he gave at the Last Supper was all about. The Ayumi pattern in the blood. Thoth has shown me how each pattern of 6 petals in the flower of life is energetically aligned to a 6-sided pyramid bubble. The 16 flower bubbles create a combined harmonic that is the same as the tone harmonic of divine man, Adam Kedmon. The platelets in the human blood conform to the flower of life pattern when the blood is transformed into aether. This aether blood is still blood, as it performs a similar function in the refined body, this body being of a high-frequency light vibration. However, the flower of life is only one frozen moment in the messages of the blood as it moves into greater and greater parity with Source. Thoth calls these aether blood patterns or blood language Ayumi. The flower of life pattern is the first complete harmonic. From it are spun Ayumi patterns ad infinitum. Yet it is through the door of the flower of life that the infinite Ayumi is accessed. The Ayumi, or aether blood, streams the language of light into the corporeal. One need not have their blood transformed to aether in order to receive from the streaming. In what we call past and future times, your soul has and will experience the refined, pure gem body with its Ayumi blood consciousness. It is there for you on your timeline to receive at any moment in the now you choose. Receiving the quickening for you to align in various degrees to your aether blood can come through sound, light, color, symbolic geometrics of the Ayumi patterns, even smell through aromatherapy. There are interdimensional loci going about their task of transforming the blood into a full light crystal energy through the activation of the Imstra molecule. Of course, this fullness will not be complete in the lifetimes of those now in embodiment, but they will carry the charge paragenetically into their future incarnations as the whole quantum of viability builds to the point of becoming a true pure gem body. When you look at these light cells, you are seeing into the future, as they are not from this time dimension. As more and more human beings create the gem blood, so they are also building communication at the level of the blood chemistry. This communication increases the spiritual unity of those with the blood gem and thus aids in the individual spiritualization of the individual soul-body system. In a full-blown pure gem system, the pure gem Imstra will be fully active in the system and have multifaceted crystalline ports which allow and draw to it docking for a full range of full-blown gem crystal microchips. This is at the core of the multidimensionality capabilities of the true pure gem body within its new Earth star environment.